Detroit, Michigan, Harvey the Candyman Jolly. And his opponent fighting out of the blue corner. He weighed in at 209 pounds. He's wearing the blue trunks with the white trim. Undefeated in his campaign. 12 victories, 7 wins coming by way of knockout. From Atlanta, GA, Rummel Rene. Referee Jim Ford with final instructions.
Ringside, Vince Ferrara, Preston Halliburton, our 5th bout of the night. Undefeated Rummel Rene in this heavyweight bout, weighing in at 209 pounds, 12-0, taking on Harvey Jolly, 12-17-1 in this 6-round bout. A height advantage for Harvey Jolly. Rummel Rene, though, looks like he has the advantage in the size at 209.
Yeah, absolutely. Smaller heavyweights, but I can promise you, I know Rummel can hit like any of the larger heavyweights. He's looking to set up that powerful looping left hand. Catch Jolly coming in, and just as I said it, he almost landed.
Rummel Rene is in the blue trunks with a white trim, white gloves, and Harvey Jolly is in the black trunks with the red trim and the red gloves as Rene on the attack. A shot to the body from Jolly.
Now, I have not seen this from Rummel. He switches up to an orthodox stance, goes back to southpaw quickly, though, again.
Boy, the reach of Harvey Jolly is clear, boy. He has long arms.
Well, he does have long arms, and a small ring would favor a shorter fighter that needs to get on the inside. He has less work to do to get inside. When he gets inside, he can get his money's worth.
Harvey Jolly, one right hand under the chin when he's ready to throw that jab. Rene, one hand down as well. Shot to the body from Jolly, misses with the left, looping left hook. Shot to the body, responded by Rene.
Rummel's picking his shots a little more than I've normally seen him. I don't know if he's just trying to work on a couple things in the ring, setting his punches up a little more professionally.
Tell you a little bit about Harvey Jolly, the Candyman, born based out of Adrian, Michigan, coming into this bout with a win over Joshua Harris back in June, a unanimous decision, went 8 rounds in, and this is a 6-round heavyweight bout. Prior to that, had lost 3 in a row. Before that, a win over Humberto Savin back in 2010.
Well, I can tell you, Vince, you can't judge a fighter by his losses. Anytime someone loses, I've always learned more when I lost than when I won. What we've got is a guy who has 17 more fights than Rummel and has gone into deep waters more often.
Yep.
That can have a major effect in the heavyweight division when you got big boys going into later rounds. This is a 6-round bout. It's not an extremely long fight, but it's definitely going to push both heavyweights to exert a lot of energy.
And Preston, Harvey Jolly is fought in some great venues. We had a warning now to Harvey Jolly from our referee, Jim Korb, in this bout, but Harvey Jolly is fought up at the Connecticut Convention Center in Hartford, as a great boxing town. A shot to the body, and Rene says, no, that was nothing. MGM Grand in Las Vegas, in Oklahoma City, the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Hollywood, Convention Center down in Miami, and the UIC Pavilion in Chicago. Harvey Jolly's been around at some great venues. Who would you give that first round to, Preston?
It was a close first round. It was close. That'd be a difficult round, Judge. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, to me, I think Jolly was a little bit more active, but you might be able to make the determination that the power shots are from Rene. Yeah, I don't know. They were a great volume. Neither one of them seemed really hurt by any shots in that first round.
Neither one of them really made any case that they won the round.
So I'm sorry, Preston, you're very familiar with Rummel Rene. How is he different? You mentioned a couple things, but what did you expect from him coming into this bout?
Well, when Rummel fights a taller fighter, usually he's very tenacious. He tries to overwhelm his opponent with the volume of punches and power coming from multiple angles, a southpaw stance. I saw him sit in the middle of the ring against a taller man and trying to pick his shots more, and I don't know that this is the opponent to do that with.
Rummel Rene in the blue trunks is undefeated at 12-0, born in Brooklyn, and is based out of Orlando. Calls himself the Tank, and you can see why. Wow.
Nice left hand.
And now Rene on the attack. That left connected.
The left's a dangerous punch. In the amateur days, they called it the tank bomb. He would land it when he was losing a fight. He'd land a tank bomb sometimes.
Kind of bail you out sometimes, right?
He would bail him out in a clutch. But I tell you, I would suspect Rummel's had a little bit of a layoff. We both had the same record. I took a year off due to surgery, and I'm at the same spot in my career. And I would imagine he had a layoff at some point for some reason. And I'm wondering if that's explains him not being as aggressive, and he's just trying to get some ring rust off right now.
The last bout for Rummel Rene was September 17th at Parking Lot 7. Now, that doesn't sound good, but that's at LA Live in Los Angeles. So nice shot to the body, a right from Rene, and that was a 6-round TKO against DeLeon Tinsley. And that was back in September. Here we are in early December. That's not an inordinate amount of time in term, but that doesn't mean the gym.
September of 09.
No, of 2010. That was
okay.
Yeah. It's and down goes Jolly, but that not going to be. Yeah, it's going to be a warning to Rene, and they're not going to count that as a knockdown. That's just a trip. Again, Harvey Jolly in the black trunks of the red trim and those red gloves, and Rummel Rene was undefeated at 12-0 with those blue trunks, and that was maybe a low shot was not called in the white gloves for Rene.
I can tell you, it's difficult to land a solid punch on a taller, wiry counter puncher like Jolly, who's keeping his distance. Sometimes they're not necessarily giving you enough to work with in the exchanges.
Is Jolly presenting any openings that Rene is not taking advantage of at all?
I don't think so yet. I mean, he's a cagey veteran who's obviously gone the distance with some tough fighters. So to beat him, you might have to outpoint him and wait your turn.
Right connects by Rene, and now Jolly and Rene will be broken up, and now warning on maybe pushing to the back of the head from our referee, Jim Korb.
I've seen both fighters switch from an orthodox southpaw stance on a number of occasions. And when both fighters do that,
being held,
someone can get caught.
I'm sorry, Preston. That looked like both were holding there, and the referee Jim Korb was letting it go. Final seconds of the second round. Oh, nice uppercut connected, then an exchange
nice
from both.
He set up a nice uppercut.
So again, Preston,
a little more active round for Rene. If I look back and I think about, did I ever see Rummel get caught with a solid shot that round, other than the uppercut right at the end, and that was arguably the chip? I'd have to give that to Rene. I think Rummel was a little more aggressive in that round.
All right, so early on, two rounds in. So did you decide on the first one, or did we leave that?
I'm gonna go one round apiece.
Okay. All right, so one apiece. Still a lot of work to do for both of these boxers in this 6-round heavyweight bout. We got a lightweight bout next between John Trigg and Jared Robinson. Tyrese Hendricks and Chris Gray for the WBF North American Light Welterweight title, our co-main event. And then our main event tonight for the WBF North American Welterweight title between Paul the Truth Delgado and Ruben Galvin. It's the Big Rockout presented by Sports Fan Properties, Shea Bailey Promotions, and Delgado Boxing. Vince Ferrara, Preston Halliburton ringside as we are ready for round number 3 here at the Georgia World Congress Center at the Thomas Murphy Ballroom. In the center of the ring, couple of jabs don't connect from Jolly, and I don't think anyone's landed a punch so far.
You know, it can be a slow fight. You've got an orthodox fighter and a southpaw, a veteran, and a guy has is looking for one punch. You're not going to see a lot of good exchanges.
Oh, that
Tank
shot
got caught on the way in.
Yep, and now that pushes Jolly back against the ropes.
Tank responded well to the shot, though, with 2 of his own.
Boy, those long arms, boy, they come at you from Jolly. They can come at you from a lot of different angles.
They do. Rummel is biting his mouthpiece if something happened to his lip on the last exchange.
Strong shot to the body by Rene. Now he's got him up against the ropes, not able to bully him there as Jolly gets out, back to the center of the ring. Just kind of pawing at that jab, and Jolly was caught coming in by Rene.
Absolutely. One shot from either one of these guys can really change the fight. Jolly's starting to sit down his punches a little more. And he appears as though he's just using a flip jab, and then he explodes with the right hand.
Uppercut that time from Jolly. Some of the boxers that Rummel Rene has beaten in his 12-0 professional career. He mentioned DeLeon Tinsley, Clarence Moore before that, Raymond McLemore, Kevin Rainey, Derek Buchanan, Charles Ward, James Brock, Michael Brewer, Gary Lavender, Albert Thompson, Amos Johnson, Raymond McLemore. What kind of competition is that for Rummel Rene?
It's the perfect competition to build a fighter. He's not fighting in Philadelphia. You know, they're not building him the way they did Bernard Hopkins, and they're doing it properly.
Excuse me, Preston. The action is definitely picked up here as Rene ate some shots, but then was able to connect on Jolly in the corner. And they're back to the center of the ring, and Rene talking to Jolly a little bit. Jim Korb had a word with both of those boxers. Did you kind of get an idea what that might have been about?
Well, he's asking them to stop making him relevant in the fight. A referee's not supposed to be visible or relevant in the fight.
Yeah.
He's asking them, look, you guys break yourselves. Punch out of it. Punch out of the break.
Well, there's a lot of sports fans would like to see the officials be not seen or heard in a lot of their other sports as well. So it's good to see that Jim Korb wants that. He didn't want to be a factor in this. Wants the guys to decide it inside the ropes.
Nice left hand by Tank. One shot could change the fight.
And Jolly's hurt, and down goes Jolly to a knee. Rummel Rene puts down Harvey Jolly, and Jim Korb with the count. And Jolly says he's okay. We'll see how Rene attacks.
Oh, that left hand. I like it. Instead of a looping wild punch, he threw a straight left hand.
Jolly is hurt.
Spins his opponent. Nice.
Jolly light on his feet right now. Really weak-legged right now. We'll see if Rummel Rene can finish him, but they get a break, and the bell went on. Wow. Is that?
The bell literally saved the round for the guys.
Wow. So I think that one was finally got a clear winner to a round for. It's been a while since we've had that. Clearly, Rummel Rene.
Clear round for Rummel. Nice straight left hand, landed on the money every time.
Well, and so if we had it even in one round apiece, you go 10-8 for that, and now Harvey Jolly's down 2 points. 2 rounds to go.
Absolutely, Jolly's going to have a significant
3 rounds to go. Sorry,
3 round. Next round Jolly needs to significantly and convincingly win the next 3 rounds.
Harvey Jolly, some of the boxers that Jolly has fought: beat Joshua Harris, lost to Rakeem Chakney, lost to Eric Fields, Yasni Kusegra, beat Humberto Savine, Jason Robinson. Been some good fighters. He's been a very experienced boxer, as you mentioned earlier. 12-17-1, 31 career fights, has 6 knockouts, and has been knocked out 8 times. Was on the brink there in that 3rd round.
Absolutely. I'll tell you, Tank came out right-handed in that round. I don't know what the strategy was. He's back to southpaw again.
Oh, took 2 straight lefts from Harvey Jolly. It looks like kind of got his wits about him. Yeah, that's what I was looking for.
He's got his bearings a little bit. He's going to come out and try to get a little get back, as they say in boxing.
Now, if you were in Jolly's corner, the way he was caught by Rene and the way he was dominating that last round, what would you have told him in the corner heading into this 4th round? In Jolly's corner, yeah.
Jolly's corner, I'd say let's go back to boxing. Let's just keep him at a distance, and let's tie him up on the inside so you don't get caught. Let's outbox him for the next 3 rounds convincingly.
Jolly's been over the top on some of those looping shots as he's come in. He's got his hands up. Does he look more tentative to you right now? Jolly,
well,
yes.
Yeah, absolutely. He's been caught, and he realizes that Tank has deceiving power. With even short punches can have power. It comes from Tank's legs. He's got really powerful legs.
Overhand right. It looked like it had a whole lot of mustard on it. And Rene, a couple times when he's been hit by shots, and he's staggered now. And Rene is hurt.
He got caught by a punch, walked into it.
It looked like a glancing blow, and he is still staggered, and another right connects on Rene, who's trying to hang on, and backs Jolly into the ropes and forces a break, but Jolly looks tired too as he drops his shoulders.
Rummel's hurt.
And Rummel Rene in the blue trunks nods his head no, and then the two of them tied up. I don't know, Jolly looks any better than Rene.
Might be punched out on that combination.
Jolly glancing blows there. Could you catch what originally hurt Rene?
It looked like a right hand to the temple. Looked like Rene was mounting one of those powerful left hands, and he just got caught on the way in. Sometimes, Jolly was in. Oh, nice combination. Rummel comes back.
And Rene, very active, letting the hands go in the corner as Jolly covers up and then gets out of the corner. Misses over the top, and then again, they tie up. These two guys look like they are starting to wear down a little bit, Preston.
These guys are both exposing themselves, and they've gotten a little bit tired.
Now Rene, the important thing was that Rene was able to stay on his feet when he was hurt in this round.
Absolutely. It looks like Rene's still trying to get his head together a little bit, though.
Dropped his hands. Boy, he tried to go to the body for a little jab, but had nothing on it, really. And Jolly looks tired as well. See if he can end with a flurry, and the two bodies come together, but no punches land, and a break, and that's the end of round number 4. So what do you think, Preston?
Just when we thought Rene was going to run away with
round sign up for the fans right now.
Given the knockdown, Rene still has the edge in the fight. Jolly's right in there, though. It's anybody's fight.
So take us to the corner of Rummel Rene. What is the corner telling him going in this 5th round?
You're letting him know that, look, you've got a KG veteran you're fighting. The guy's been in there with some warriors. He's using your strengths against you. If you cannot, just because you have him hurt, you can't run in there without keeping your hands up and think you can just dominate a veteran fighter. You still have to set up your shots with your jab, and let's get back to boxing. Set up the power.
Harvey Jolly, you mentioned he's been in the ring with some very experienced guys, and boy, it looked like Rene ate a jab and then was on his heels there. But
I think the surface of this ring is playing huge factors for all these fighters.
It is not, right where the Tecate sign is in the middle. It looks elevated just a little bit. Use your balance.
Every time they step here, it's dangerous, actually.
And so maybe forces you to take a wider stance in the middle. Maybe that's not where you're comfortable at. You could be in a bad position.
Absolutely.
So Rummel Rene comes in. They tie up. Jolly, some of the guys, he was in there against 12-0 Nicholas Iannuzzi, 22-2 Adam Richards, 15-0 Rand Nakash, unbeaten 14-0 Francisco Palacios. I can go on and on. Alfredo Escalera was undefeated. He's been in the ring against some guys with some terrific records and some really good fighters.
Absolutely. He's not a Johnny-come-lately.
So Harvey Jolly, the more experienced fighter, 6'4", against the smaller but heavier Rummel Rene, who's at 5'10.5", the tank as they call him, managed by Freddie Mac and Eric Smith.
Both fighters are extremely exhausted.
We're in the 5th round of a 6-round heavyweight bout here at the Big Rockout. Vince Ferrar, Preston Halliburton, ringside. Glad you've joined us for the Big Rockout. Still 2 main event title fights, WBF title fights on the way, and the two come together.
These guys are tired.
And the fans all frustrated by that seeing these guys a little worn out here in this 5th round. Shot to the body, left to the body by Jolly. But I'm surprised at Jolly's experience as long as he's gone in some 8-round and beyond fights. See him tired is a little surprising.
Well, that can a lot be attributed to
he
probably didn't have a lot of time to get ready.
Yeah.
Then also, he's fighting a guy throwing a lot of heavy punches. That caused you to move a lot more than normal.
And Jolly now covering up here in a break and a warning to Rummel Rene by referee Jim Cord. Again, Rene charging in. Those blue trunks and Jolly in the black trunks.
And again, as we mentioned earlier, a lot of these heavy shots take so much out of you. If you could just step back, a fighter, you want to see your fighter throw more combinations and set up the power shots.
We have not seen, Jolly was throwing more combinations early on, and that, that's something, as you pointed out, I haven't seen as much from him lately. Final seconds of this 5th round, 6-round heavyweight bout. Jolly got hanging on, trying to get out of the corner. Look, Rene letting his hands go at the end and connects with a left at the bell.
It could have been the difference in the round. That little rally, that's an experienced amateur career, still in the round at the end, trying to look like the fresher fighter in the judge's mind. I think he might have won the round right there.
Well, Preston, if that's the case, he's up 2 points on your unofficial scorecard as we go into the sixth and final round. So if you're in Harvey Jolly's corner, what do you tell him?
You got to knock this guy down. You got to go out and score a knockdown. Doesn't have to be a knockout. You score a knockdown, it can be a draw or a win.
Has he shown you? He stunned Rene in. And win the round and maybe get back into it, and you never know how some of those early rounds may be scored.
Absolutely.
But nonetheless, he's got to do more than just win on points here in this final round. It looks clear for Harvey Jolly. Looks to be behind in this fight against Rummel Rene. He's undefeated at 12-0.
Well, let's see what Rummel, I'm wondering what his corner told him. Does he need to play it safe, or is he going to go out there and try to land a tank bomb?
That tank bomb is, once again, what's that? That's that tank bomb shot.
It's the straight left hand. Rummel has a unique ability to land it when he's in trouble, or a lot of his fights, one shot can change it.
The uppercut stuns and moves back Harvey Jolly in the black trunks. And boy, on the break, it took Jolly a while to lean up. He definitely looks tired, but he's got to get some business done here in the sixth and final round.
Both fighters are exhausted.
Moves back, and Jolly pointing to his head. Now they reset.
Jolly's tired. I don't know that he's got the win to overcome the point margin at this point.
Well, I think and the referee talking to Jolly as Rene continues to punch. Boy, if Rene can just put it together, I think he has the ability to put Jolly down.
I agree with you. If he's in a little bit better shape, he can knock Jolly out.
And the fans are getting a little frustrated here. And Rene going to wrap his arms around, and then the referee, Jim Korb, will warn Rummel Rene.
Uppercuts come.
Jolly combination. Rene is tired. Has Jolly up against the ropes, and now Jolly will come out, but not a whole lot of resistance from either one of these two fighters, especially when they tie up.
Well, I can tell you, Rene wants to work on the inside, but Jolly's holding him, won't let him.
And he backs Jolly up into the corner, and Jolly will just hold his way out.
And it's smart. You're fighting a very powerful fighter. Hold in the clinches and get on the outside where you're more comfortable. Jolly is going to get a point off for turning his back to his opponent at some point. That's a very defensive and stalling move, but it's not. Arguably, there could be a point taken off of that. Turning your back to your opponent.
So again, a clinch in the center of the ring. And Jim Korb will break these two up. I think the referee is frustrated having to get in there and break these two up as often as he has had to be a part of this fight. Final seconds of the sixth and final round. Jolly's got to get something here and close with a flurry. And Rene instead trying to steal the round, and you mentioned it. That's a veteran will do that. Terrific boxers here, and two WBF belts on the line. Let's get our decision in the ring from Jose Santiago.
A unanimous decision. Judge Erwin Deutsch scored the contest 59-54. Bobby Izor scored it 59-54. And Ed Cantor scored it 57-56. Your winner by unanimous decision from Atlanta, Georgia.